Hey, what is up? So I kind of want to talk about trailing stops. I had a question about that from Mish. So they're kind of a conundrum. It really sucks when they knock you out, but they can also really help you too. So Baba today, this is a really good stock that you can learn about setting a trailing stop. So right here, obviously you could have shorted it off the 200 SMA. And, let's just say that this repeated again the next day. You see it consolidating, you went to a short, it's looking good, you want to walk away for a bit. So you want to set a trailing stop. And so you basically, the whole goal of setting a trailing stop is so that when the price from the lowest point it gets increases to a certain point, that certain point hypothetically should be the reversal point. So obviously right here, we're going to talk about this point. If you were to look at the previous day, so like let's say we're talking about we're in tomorrow, we're on Friday, but like this is Thursday. You look at the previous day, so let's say hypothetically today's price action was the previous day. You'd be like, all right, so whenever it was consolidating right here, it went from 168.60 to the high right here, of this candle up here, to 168.90. So 60 to basically the whole number, 40 cents. So you definitely want your trailing stop to be at least 40 cents, because what it's doing is it's resetting every time it gets, so let's say you set it right here, every time it gets to a new low it resets on a short. It works opposite when you're going long, but let's say you set a 30 cent trailing stop, so it goes from 60, so it's the right side you see 68.60, and it goes to like 95 whatever, so it goes up here, it would knock you out like right about right there. So you'd want at least 40 cents of wiggle room. So every time it comes down here, it doesn't reset, but then it breaks these lows right here, boom, it resets. And you're fine. But then right here, boom, low right here, you get a 65, and you bounce up to, 85, like that's 20 cents, so you're still good there. And that's how a trailing stop works. But I would definitely break your orders up. So let's say you have 1,000 shares. 500 I would set for a 50 cent stop, a trailing stop. And then for here, I would probably set maybe a third or half, whatever you want to do, to let's see, so 67 whole number to, an 80 cent trailing stop. I know it's a little bit more, that's why you're going to break up the orders. But a trailing stop resets every time it hits new lows for a short position, obviously. For a long position, it's the other way around, but I hope you get it. You kind of want to look but what the previous trend of the stock does. What's the range when it consolidates, when it's kind of bumping? It bumps and then bumps and then bumps. That's kind of how you decide. You'd probably get knocked out right here somewhere. But yeah, the whole goal is to set it tight enough that you give yourself lots of profit. You don't give the stock too much room, but wide enough that it'll knock you out whenever it's kind of to that reversal time. Down here, this would be a perfect situation. But yeah, so that's kind of how you do trailing stops.